is the first president in a generation willing to tackle America's worsening, intractable, out-of-control problem, and he's willing to do so single-handedly if he must. Congress would rather deny him a win on immigration and let the problem continue to proliferate, no matter the harm to the American people. Even his own party fails him yet again. Last month, 144,000 entered through our southern border illegally, violating our laws simply because they want a better life in America. Who doesn't? This is the greatest country on earth. Yet we're at risk of losing our greatness as we reward illegals whose backgrounds we don't know, who surge through our borders because they know that we're powerless to enforce our laws. We watch as they are gifted with the opportunity to board buses to get to the interior of the United States. We give them lawyers and courts and translators and food and housing before they even get there. The irony is that those who respectfully wait their turn and get a visa and come here legally, the ones who learn our history, swear allegiance to the United States, the ones who scrimp and save, they have to pay for their own lawyers while the illegals get them for free. So as they surge our borders with numbers increasing day by day, last month 144,000, the highest number in over a decade, because they know at some point the U.S. has to smarten up. Yet Congress continues to fail us, not only blocking the president's efforts, but actually passing a bill this week that would give 2.5 million dreamers amnesty, a signal to illegals that not only will they let you in and pay for food, housing, education, medical, and travel, but sooner or later they'll give you amnesty after they release you into the interior, providing yet another incentive for illegals to cross. So they say to themselves, what have you got to lose? Yet the House, in their largesse this week in granting that amnesty, does nothing to address the crisis at the border. And the bill does nothing to secure the border or enforce our laws. Now, the president had even offered a bill that did both, but no one in Congress was interested. Legal status for dreamers, temporary protected status, and money for the wall. Now, these Republicans supported the Democrat effort that provided no resolution to the crisis at the border. Don Bacon, Mario Diaz-Balart, Brian Fitzpatrick, Will Hurd, Dan Newhouse, Chris Smith, and good old Fred Upton. So the president is left to go it alone. Congress has failed every step of the way while attempting to give itself a raise. So what can be done to fix the crisis? This is the kind of answer you get from the left.
I asked you the first time, like, what would you do? And you said, the president should pass a law, which is, as Andy just explained, isn't how it works. And we know the prior presidents weren't able to do it. I don't see how putting So I'm just looking for one suggestion from you as to something else that would be concrete that would stop the influx at the border right now, specifically.
Okay, I can give you three, but let's start with financial aid to the enforcement community, that they would allow asylum seekers to come in and apply according to U.S. law, and that if they were granted asylum, then they would be allowed to come in legally.
Come on, they're already allowed to apply for asylum. The left doesn't have a plan other than to fill the Democrat voting rolls, and the Republicans going along with them should just change to Democrat to fill those roles. In fact, now that I think of it, Congress ought to be fired for forcing this president to negotiate with a foreign power to solve a national immigration crisis that our own government won't solve. Either because it's a manufactured crisis, are you stupid and blind? Or do you hate the president so much that you'd rather we Americans suffer the burden of the children of illegals into our already too small classrooms, not having the budget to hire the teachers to deal with the variety of languages that they speak, with American kids suffering a slowdown in their own education, not to mention MS-13 gang members in school who kill students at a high school on Long Island? Who pays for this? And given that last month 11,000 unaccompanied kids came in, who, of course, are entitled to an education, I get it. But get ready. If you think your property taxes are high now, strap in. So the president sits in the White House in December, waiting to strike a deal while Congress goes on vacation, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, planning junkets to Brussels, Afghanistan. And now, as he negotiates with Mexico, they do nothing. While illegal immigrants continue to set records day by day, crossing the border, knowing they'll be released to disappear, Congress would rather sit on their hands and give themselves a pay raise. I have an idea. Fire the whole lot of them and bring in every family that's been affected by illegal immigration, including the legal immigrants who had to wait their turn, and every family who might have had a job but for someone else doing it cheaper, and every family whose school taxes have gone up, and every family affected by crime committed by an illegal. It all comes down to one thing: the strength of the president to again defy the odds, the naysayers, and the doubters, to do what no president has done: fix this mess. This is Donald Trump's moment in history. And I, for one, believe in the man and the moment. So should you. And that's my open. Tell me what you think on my Facebook page and Twitter. #Judge Jeanine.